So you know those times when you feel like your desires are just out of reach, and then you try to bridge the gap by doing either affirmations or visualizing that they're already here. Well, here's the real reason why your desires aren't here yet. The real reason. And the real reason is that each time you notice a gap between you and your desire, you either try to affirm, either try to visualize a particular scene, everything in an attempt to convince yourself that your desires are here now. So the gap between where you are right now and your desire, no matter what it is, that gap is not the problem. It's how you're reacting to it. Because the way you're reacting to it by affirming that, okay, I already have my desires, or everything's already worked out for me, or he or she is in a committed relationship with me, whatever you truly want, whatever your desire we're talking about, when you try to convince yourself that your desire is already here and now, you're not narrowing the gap, but your mind in that moment is trying to convince you that what you're doing is working. But that's actually busy work. It's just making sure you stay busy, completely, you're completely ensuring that the moment between you and your desire, you're filling it up with all the right things to do. But actually, the gap between you and your desire, what it's actually telling you to do, is to rest. The gap between where you are and where you want to be, it's not a mistake. It's a message. It's an invitation from your true self, just saying to you, hey, rest here. Everything that you want is right here. Why don't you rest? Why don't you stop pushing against whatever you think is happening? Why don't you stop pushing against your thoughts, pushing against your emotions, and just rest in this moment, right here and right now? So there is no mistake to fix, to correct. The gap is not a space where you need to fix yourself or heal yourself or mend it or transcend it or manipulate it in any way. No matter what your intention with the gap is, whether you're trying to do affirmations or visualization, the underlying reason behind it for most of us is usually always the same. We're trying to affirm that our desires are here and now and a part of our lives already, because we fear that if we don't occupy that gap with those affirmations, then we're going to miss out on our desire. But this is just more mind chatter that the mind creates to keep you in the loop of always doing something, constantly occupying yourself to doing something to cover this gap. Instead, see this gap for what it really is. It's an invitation for you to stop trying to manipulate this moment and just rest. And resting in this moment does not mean that you'll feel peaceful in like 5 seconds, 20 seconds, or 2 minutes. No, but you'll at least break this pattern where you're constantly reacting to life, where you're constantly judging yourself, judging the situation. And when you stop reacting to your reactions, that is the definition of rest, because there's no more pushing back against whatever is happening from you. When you're not pushing against anything, you are resting as your true infinite, limitless self. And this way, your true desires, whatever they might be, doesn't matter how small you deem them to be or big you deem them to be, that's when they start surfacing. That's when the magic happens. Because in this gap, you realize, wait a second, this gap was never wrong. This gap between me and my desires was never wrong. It was always perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. There was no need to fix it, to alter it, to change it, to transcend it or shift it. There's no need for it to change in any way. This gap was always leading you to your desires. It just needed you to rest in your true self and to look at who you truly are in this moment. And we'll see how to look at who you truly are experientially in the next video. So stay tuned.